Hello guys, thanks for having me on this event. I'm going to talk about our experience on upgrading Drupal from Drupal 8 to Drupal 9. I'm Mahmoud Zayed. I'm Acquia certified Drupal 8 Grandmaster. I have 16 years experience on tech field, 12 of them on Drupal. Before we start, I would like to mention that Bootstrap Layout Builder 1.2 is now out and it's available on Drupal.org. So we spent about 2 months to have this measure release. I hope you try it out and share with me or with us your experience. If you have any bugs or if you have any feature request, feel free to go to the project issue queue and report it. So before we start the upgrading process to Drupal 9, we need to understand what is Drupal 9 and what is the difference between Drupal 8 and Drupal 9. Actually, Drupal 9 is a new version of Drupal. The main difference between Drupal 8 and Drupal 9 is that Drupal 8.9 and Drupal 9 have the same new solutions. The Drupal 8.9 have the deprecated code. The deprecated code means the code that no longer needed on Drupal core and also no needed on some of contributed modules because of major changes on the API. So in this new release, the Drupal community removes the deprecated code. Also, there is major change of Symfony Symfony framework. Symfony framework, it's like the infrastructure of Drupal backend. Is the main platform that used to handle your request, your response, and a lot of stuff. So Drupal 9 is equal Drupal 8.9 minus deprecated code and have this major change of Symfony. We have 4 steps or 4 items on our checklist to be ready to upgrade to Drupal 9. First, we need to check the availability of modules on Drupal 8 using the upgrade status. The upgrade status is a module. When you install it, it's give you some statistics of Drupal modules about releases, announce you about new minor and major releases. Also, it announce you about the security fixes, which is very important to keep your project healthy. Also, you need to stay updated with the latest core version. So if you are on any version on Drupal 8, like Drupal 8.6, Drupal 8.8, whatever the version you are on, you will need to upgrade the latest to the latest version, which is 8.9.x. You will need also to remove all the deprecated code from your custom theme and your custom modules, simply by changing the deprecated code to the new code that's supported by Drupal 9. I will show you how we can achieve this on next slides. After you finish the 3 items, you are now ready to upgrade to Drupal 9, and you should have a smooth upgrade process. Here is the 7 steps, or I can call it the 7 steps formula for upgrading from Drupal 8 to Drupal 9. First, you will go to a status report. You will need to go also to recent logs. Check all problems you have on the website. Maybe in sometimes you have some mismatched entities, you have some problems with fields. You will need to fix all the problems at your current version. Believe me, this is a very important step before upgrading to Drupal 9. Sometimes if you just hurry and like to upgrade to Drupal 9 direct, then you may face some issues you can't solve in the latest version, and you may need to revert back to the old version and do the upgrading steps, do the drush updb, do maintain as a website, then return back to Drupal 9. So make this the first thing you need to achieve. So solve all problems and warning, if any, update your project to the latest version to Drupal 8.9, replace deprecated code at the custom modules and themes, then update all contributed modules and themes and ensure are all or modules that you have is compatible with Drupal 9 by using this awesome module upgrade status. And I will show you how we can um, check which modules are compatible with Drupal 9 and which modules we may need to submit patches or have custom solutions to this specific modules. Then after you finish the first 4 steps, if you found non-compatible contributed modules or themes, so you will need to check the project itself issue queue and search for Drupal 9 compatible issue. If you find the issue, it's okay. You can then include it on your composer, or you can apply the patch manually if you are not using composer. If you wouldn't find any issues, so you will need to create a new issue and report it. And if you have contribution experience or have some good knowledge, you can also create your batch and upload it to the project page. After finishing the first 5 steps, you will need to do smoke test and make sure that you solve it all errors, all warnings. You checked that you don't have any deprecated code. You have replaced all the deprecated code you have. Then you are ready to have a smooth upgrade to Drupal 9. Also, there is one major thing you need to check before take the decision of upgrading to Drupal 9, which is the server. Drupal 9 requires PHP 7.3 and requires 5.7 for MySQL. Um, from my experience on updating some of Drupal projects, I found some blockers on servers. I don't like to mention names, but thanks for platform.sh, it's support Drupal 9. So you will need to check if the server is ready to support MySQL and PHP version for the Drupal 9. So how we can replace the deprecated code? We have some suggestions that came from the community, which is really great. We can check for first the deprecation status of contributed modules. You can check the status for contributed modules by using any of the following tools. Like if you go to this website, Acquia deprecation status, it will give you very great statistics about the Drupal 9 compatible. You can check the module and which version it's ready and support Drupal 9. The green light, this means that this module's ready and you can use it direct on Drupal 9. You have also exposed filter here. You can search and filter about any modules that you need. Also, we have very great tool, which is, I can call it, it's a new way of automating the upgrading process, which is Drupal Rector. Drupal Rector, it's like a bot which is scan Drupal modules at drupal.org and find which modules that are not compatible with Drupal 9 and automated create a batch for fixing the deprecation code, replace the deprecation code by the new code, and make sure that this module is compatible with Drupal 9. We can see example because the issue that on Drupal is a big project. We have thousands of contributed module. That's why upgrading process for a project is different than other project. It's depend on the contributed modules that you are using in the project itself and um, how this module is ready for Drupal 9. So it's so important for you as a developer to always pick up the green, which is stable versions of modules. Also to pick up the actively maintained modules on your project. That's mean your upgrading process always will be faster than any other low contributed projects. So for example, this is a batch created automated by Drupal Rector. This bot just created a problem, motivation, well documented description. I don't think any human or anyone can create this awesome description. And it's upload a batch. As you can see, it just a change for a code to make it compatible with Drupal 9. So it's added this line. So thanks for this handy tool. We can always find our batches and apply it. Also, we can create our batch by a very handy tool, which is to, not this one, I think this guy. Yeah, which is update director, upgrade director. Upgrade director, it's like the bot, but this one is manual. So you can go to your project, any Drupal modules that you can see it's not compatible with Drupal 9. And from UI, you can export your batch, which is replace the deprecated code. For example, here in the picture, as you can see, it's remove the old way of set message, Drupal underscore set message, simple message, and replace it with the new way of Drupal 9, which is Drupal message and add status. You can export the result. It will export batch file. You can upload this batch file to drupal.org. I don't recommend to keep it custom because when you keep batches at your custom folder, that means you may miss some of contribution power, which is share knowledge, share bug fixes. So always keep it on drupal.org and um, always be up to date with drupal.org issue queue to find the latest version of the batches that many of guys recommend. So I think we have here project managers like to have some kind of estimates, and for the tasks that I mentioned, the 7 steps for upgrading Drupal 7, to upgrade to Drupal 9. You will need to go to Jira or any tool that you are using on for estimation and for Agile, for example. Uh, First, create a ticket to solve all errors and warnings you have. The developer need to go to dblog, for example. If they are using dblog, they are need to go to status report and check they have a healthy project. The second one, it's update the project from current version to the latest version of Drupal 9. So for estimates, as I mentioned, it's different and from a project to another project. So to solve all problems, it's different when you have a project which is have maybe 100 of contributed modules than the projects that have maybe 5 or 6 top maintained uh, Drupal modules. So this one need to be set by project. Also the same for updating project from current version to the latest version of Drupal 8.9. It's depend what is the current status of project, which versions you are. Maybe you are on Drupal 8.1. So you will need to estimate what is the major changes that you are need to apply in your project and put the estimates for this. Replace deprecated code. Um, there is a handy tool for check the deprecated code health on your project, which is Drupal check. You can find it on GitHub. After installing this tool, you can run from your CLI Drupal-check and the path for a project, which is maybe a contributed module, custom module, theme, maybe profile or distribution. You just need to add the path of your project. After run, also you can run Drupal check for all custom modules, all all contributed modules, all themes, etc. Uh, After run this guy, you will have very great information about the code that you need to replace. You can go to drupal.org and check the project pages for the module like address. You can find the latest version of the module, which is support Drupal 9, and replace it on your project. And for custom code, you will need to change it manually or by the batches that I showed you on previous slide. Also, but I think here, if you are using Aqua distribution, Aqua Lightning distribution, you have a handy tool which is BLT. You will need to upgrade to BLT version 12, which is support Drupal 9. You can run this handy comments like BLT tests deprecated modules or BLT tests deprecated themes, which will show you the same thing you can get from upgrade status module. So this is another way to see the deprecated projects you have on your project. You will need, as mentioned, to update all contributed modules, all themes that you have. As mentioned, you can check by command line or by upgrade status. After finish all that steps, you can upgrade to Drupal 9 by only one command. I created a video yesterday which is show you the upgrading steps for one of just dummy project. It's like personal blog. I have created this items by Devil Generator. So at this website, it's currently running on Drupal 8, as you can see, guys. First step, we need to go to reports, status report, to check the health of our website. As you can see, we have 3 errors. The errors mentioned that because we are using local environment, we have access to update to PHP, which is fine, and we have some Drupal core update status and some modules and theme update status. So the current version, it's 8.8.5, and they recommended that at least you you need to update to the stable version 8.9.1, which is have some of fixes like security fixes to make your project healthy and to make it up to date with the latest version. If you click unsupported projects, you will see the modules and themes you are using from the community, the installed version, the recommended version that you will need to upgrade it to it. If you can't see this page, you can go to extend, which is Drupal module page, and search for update manager. It's a core module, and you can enable it. After enable this module, you can see it. You can see available updates, and you can go to available updates and see um, the project health and what is the contributed modules and Drupal code version that you have in your projects. As you can see, it's just recommend some upgrade, and they have a great tool which is the compatible. Compatible shows you that you have a version of Drupal 8 and the target version that compatible with Drupal 9 is available for this module. Let's start the upgrading process. The first step is delete vendor and composer.log. Then we will need to run composer update dash all with all dependencies. So by running this command, you will update all the modules you have on your project to the latest minor release for each project. Simple stuff, just as you can see, it's updating the minor versions. Everything looks good. After that, we need to refresh this page. Awesome. We are now on 8.9.1 and most of our modules is up to date to the latest version, except this yellow highlighted modules, which is still need some other steps to upgrade it and to make it ready for Drupal 9. So we need here to run composer why-not Drupal core 9. Why not is a handy tool that show us which dependencies are a blocker for our upgrading process. We have here a list of projects. Well, as you can see, we need to upgrade these versions because these versions it's compatible only with Drupal 8. So that means if we upgrade all these blockers module, we are now ready to upgrade to Drupal 9. So if you just run -t, that will show the modules on 3 version, which means that, as you can see, I'm using Aqua Lightning distribution, which is require a module called lightning underscore layout, and lightning underscore layout requires banalizer, and banalizer required by panels underscore IPE. So if I'm going to update the version of Aqua Lightning, that means I will able to update I will be able to update to all the contributed modules that this profile uses as a dependency, and I can just I can be ready for Drupal 9. Also, one of major things you will need to change if you have platform on your composer configuration, you will need to change it from 7.2, which is a version recommended for Drupal 8, to um, 7.3. Also, you will need to detect which Drupal core profile you are using. Most of us using core recommended. You will need to make sure to change this recommended version to 8 to sorry Drupal 9. You can simply run composer require Drupal slash core dash recommended Drupal 9, and you can pass dash dash no update to make sure that you will update composer.json file without running any updates to prevent the conflicts. So now we updated it to version 9. Let's search for the main distributions that I am using, which is Aqua Lightning, and try to upgrade this one to the versions that compatible with Drupal 9. We can simply check the changelog of project itself to to see the upgrading steps. I know the command, which is composer require Aqua Lightning and version 5. On previous step, I think this went quickly. At previous step, as you can see, after running the upgrading for the Aqua Lightning, I got another error, which is the Lightning require a dependency, which is need to be upgraded to be compatible with Drupal 9. I just, as I did, composer require the module Aqua connector, the versions that compatible with Drupal 9, dash dash no update. And here we go. Awesome. So now it's time to update to Drupal 9. Oh, it seems that we still have another module that's not compatible. So every time you run Drupal update with all dependencies, you will get which module will block the upgrade process. Also, as mentioned, if you run Composer, why not? You can see all these modules at one time, and you can just search for the compatible version with Drupal 9, and can you require it without updating the Composer. Then, like this one, like Composer require Drupal Devil, the compatible version is version 4 with Drupal 9. Dash dash no update. Here we go, guys. Let's run Composer update with all dependencies again. And now we have a smooth upgrade to Drupal 9, which is great. So everything looks good so far. All modules uh, upgraded and loaded as expected. This is great. Let's run Drush updb or update your database from update.php. It will show you the major updates that created by hook underscore update underscore n on the modules. It seems that everything looks good. This update actually take from me yesterday about 30 minutes to achieve this video, but of course I speed it and I did some cut for the video to make it less than 10 minutes. As you can see, guys, let's refresh a page. We have 3 errors. The first error because we are working locally, so it's okay. And we have on incompatible module and incompatible theme. As you can see, it's like a custom module, which is open source code, the project name underscore core. So I can go to docroot modules customs open source underscore core, and it changes the compatible version with core underscore version requirement to make sure that this one is work with Drupal 9. The same for the theme. And of course, you will need, don't forget, because this project doesn't have any deprecated code, I always, while developing, search for deprecated code and replace it from time to time. So I don't need to run Drupal check here to check the deprecated code, but it's recommended, highly recommended to run it on your project uh, to make sure that you have everything, you have replaced all the deprecated code. Uh, let's clear the cache. Awesome. Refresh the page. Here we go, guys. We have Drupal 9. Congratulations. And it seems that we don't have any errors except the development environment mode. And overall, the project looks good and have the same status. So this is my experience on upgrading to Drupal 9. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and this is the time for questions and answers. Of course, you can reach me anytime at hello@imagexmedia.com or visit our website, contact form. Also, you can send me, I'm very active on drupal.org and Twitter as well. So it's time for your question, guys.
And we actually have already one question. Please
Oh my God.
check. Do you see Q&A section of Zoom, Mahmoud?
Okay.
Go to the bottom, or I can just
I
read.
need to stop sharing, it seems. Okay, cool. It seems we have only one question.
Yeah.
I'm about to upgrade from Drupal 7 to Drupal 9. Can I use Drupal? Oh, this is very interesting question. Thank you so much for asking this. If you like to upgrade from Drupal 7 to Drupal 9, you will need to upgrade from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8 first. Make sure you have a Drupal version which is 8.9. Then you can use Rector to upgrade from Drupal 8 to Drupal 9. You can't go direct from Drupal 7 to Drupal 9. So,
okay, great.
Alexander,
Thank you for the
did you
answer.
have any
And
issues
yes,
related?
we have the second question.
Yeah. Do you have any issues related with incompatible configuration YAML files between? Yeah, I did. There is some issues you may face, guys, when you are applying the patches using your composer. This files like YAML files, you may need to apply the patches of .info.yaml manually, or you will need to contact the project maintainer and ask him for merging the code to the latest version, so you can update by composer update. Also, another solution, but it's not recommended, you can have another custom folder on your custom modules, maybe past like modules/custom/Drupal 9 underscore compatible. And of course, you will need to create readme.md to record all the history you have added for this project, so which problems you faced. and you can apply the patch manually and include the patches at this custom folder. Also keep your eye on community, uh, and maybe if the maintainer updated the module, you will need to remove this module for the custom module and back to the contribution again. Config files store. No, I didn't see any issues on importing the configs.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, maybe anyone else have any other question? We have several minutes still to ask. Okay, one more question from Sardis. Sardis, thank you for being so active.
What is the tool code you suggest using during upgrade process from Drupal 7? No, it's okay. So we have, I think, Drupal 7 Drupal 8 migrate, which will migrate your database from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8. Also, you will need to follow some manual steps like replacing the custom modules you have created, or any other contributed modules that you don't have a version ready on Drupal 8. You will need to maybe move to a custom module as well. It's not easy to upgrade from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8, but it's so easy to upgrade from Drupal 8 to Drupal 9. Hope this helped.